Let's take a look at factoring trinomials with the help of a TI-82 calculator. Now don't get excited, it's not going to actually factor them completely for us, but we're going to use it to aid us in factoring trinomials. There are programs you can download that would just factor direct, or even ones we could write, but that's not the goal of this video. We're just trying to look at basic functionality of the TI-82. Okay, let's say we got this problem. We got x squared minus 6x minus 16, and we want to factor it. Well, let's go enter it in our calculator. So I'm going to press my y equals, press clear to clear out wherever's there, and then I'll put my x squared, so my x key, x squared minus 6x minus 16. I'm going to down arrow to y2, press clear, and I want to put 0 here. I actually already had a 0 there, but I'm just showing you the steps you would take. This process does not work if you don't have a 0 on y2. Okay, now we're going to do second trace. Now choose intersect. You notice there's a 5 in front of it, so I just press 5 to choose intersect. Now our answer is going to be where it crosses the x-axis, and it looks like -2. So I'm going to do enter on first curve. It's asking us for first curve in the lower left-hand corner. And then it comes up and asks us for second curve. I'll press enter on that. Now for our guess, I want to move my cursor over close to the one I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find this one right here. It looks like -2. So I'm going to do my left arrow key and move my flashing cursor over close to that one. And then press enter. Now it comes back and tells us x equals -2. Well, let's go through the process again. I'm going to do second trace. I choose intersect 5. First curve, enter. Second curve, I'll press enter. Now for a guess, I'm going to hold down my right arrow key and move my flashing cursor over close to the one I'm trying to find. So I'm trying to find this one over here. Once I get it over close to that, I press enter. And that tells us x equals 8. Now we got two main parts to this after we've done the intersect method. Is we do not want any fractions, which we don't have any. And the second part is we want to get 0 on the right side. So I'm going to take this -2, move it on the same side as the x, and take this 8 and move it on the same side as the x. So this gives us x plus 2 is equal to 0, and this one gives us x minus 8 is equal to 0. So this one factors as x plus 2 times x minus 8. And that's our answer. Let's take a look at our second example. We got 8x squared minus 6x minus 5. Well, again, we're going to go put that in. So I press my y equals, press my clear. I got 8x squared, so 8, x key, x squared, minus 6x minus 5. And we already have 0 on y2, but if you don't, down arrow to it, press clear on it, put 0 on y2. Now I'll do second trace, choose intersect. It'll come up and ask us for first curve eventually. There it goes. Press enter on first curve. When it says second curve, we press enter. For our guess, we're going to left arrow and move our flashing cursor over close to the one we're trying to find. And then press enter. And we get -0.5. Well, let's say I don't recognize what this fraction is. It's in the x value. See how it says x equals? So I can exit out. I'll do second mode to exit out. I'll push my x key, and then I'll do math, enter. And that'll change whatever value is in my x to fraction form. So we get x is equal to -1/2. Okay. Well, we got one more answer, so let's do second trace and 5 for intersect. Enter on first curve, enter on second curve, and now I'm going to hold down my right arrow key and move my flashing cursor over closer to this answer. And again, our answer is where it crosses the x-axis. And once I get there, then I press enter. And that tells us 1.25. Now again, to change this to fraction, we're going to exit out. So do second mode, press my x key, math, enter. And that gives us 5/4. Okay, back to our two guidelines here. First one is we don't want fractions. So we have to get rid of fractions if we have any. On this first equation, we'll multiply both sides by 2. So I got 2 times x and 2 times negative 1/2. Well, 2 times x is 2x, and here these 2's cancel and leaves us negative 1. On our second equation, we'll multiply both sides by 4, whatever the denominator is. So I'll take 4 times x and 4 times 5/4. Well, 4 times x is 4x, and here these 4's cancel and leaves us 5. Now that's our first step. We need to get rid of fractions. Second step is to get 0 on the right side. So I'm going to take this negative 1, move it on the same side as a 2x, and take this 5 and move it on the same side as the 4x. Remember, when you take anything across or equals, your sign changes, so the negative 1 becomes a positive 1. And over here, the positive 5 becomes a negative 5. Now once you get zeros, once you get rid of the fractions, and once you get zeros on the right side, that's your answer. So this factors as 2x plus 1 times 4x minus 5. Okay, let's look at one that isn't so straightforward. Let's take a look at this. We've got x squared plus 20x minus 1500. Now let's go graph this for. Okay, so I press my y equals, press clear. I got x squared, so x key, x squared plus 20x minus 1500. I already have 0 on y2, so that's good. Now, if I won't do second trace yet. Let me just press a graph. Our answer is where it crosses the x-axis. Got a problem here. We don't see it crossing the x-axis anywhere. What you have to do before you can go through the process is you have to zoom. So we press zoom, and we want to choose 3 for zoom out. Now it's waiting for us to put the cursor in an appropriate place for zooming out, and it's currently at the origin, and that's fine. We're happy with that. So we'll press enter one time. Now it's off thinking. Little lines going here. Don't do anything while it's still thinking. Comes back and it crosses the year. Okay, that's a start, but we need 2 answers. So we'll press enter one more time to have it zoom out by 1 more factor. And now I see it crossing in 2 different places on my graph, so that's good. Now I'm going to do second trace, choose 5 for intersect, enter on first curve, enter on second curve, and I'll move my cursor over closer to this one, and then press enter. And we get x equals negative 50. Now let's find our other one. So I do second trace, choose intersect, 5 for intersect, enter on first curve, enter on second curve, and I'll do my right arrow key to move it over closer to this one. So I'll move it over by right there and press enter. And we get x is equal to 30. Okay, 2 things we got to do. Step 1 is get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Step 2 is get 0 on the right side. So I'll take negative 50, move it over, take 30 and move it over. Remember, when you move anything across or equals, your sign changes, so the negative 50 becomes a positive 50, and the positive 30 becomes a negative 30. Okay, once you got rid of your fractions and once you got 0 on the right side, then that's your answer. So this factors as x plus 50 times x minus 30. Now to set our zoom back to where it should be, if you press zoom and then you choose 6 for Z standard, that sets it back to your standard viewing window for the next problem. And that's using the TI-82 to help you factor trinomials.